get to the reason I live alone. This is basically, my family was completely, I was an only child, and I knew my parents loved me. So that's why I can probably, you know, get one sentence out without like completely, I knew they loved me, but the marriage sucked. It just sucked. And everybody was always angry. The drama, the Jewish drama with the screaming and the yelling and the breaking. Even the parakeet was nervous. It had like a Tourette's. Little wing would be going like. No, then it got a tumor. That was the end of the parakeet. So, but my father, they had different styles of anger, which is a good thing. My father was a hysteric. It was like living with Isidore Lear, you know, Shakespearean. He would just he'd go like screaming and yelling, and he never hurt anybody, never hit anybody, but he would put his hand through a wall. We'd go to good restaurants. He's waving a knife in the air, pounding, screaming. We burned out a lot of New York restaurants that way. It was not good. But the pièce de résistance is when he would try to jump out the living room window. And they must have made very strong screens because he never made it out, or he was, you know, he's just making like a... And then he'd go to sleep for 2 days. And that was nice. You know, that is probably the reason that he was the only New York Jewish lawyer who was broke. Because you can't keep missing work like that. I'm sorry, Mr. Stroll can't come to work. He's had another vicious fight with my mother, and he won't make. He's exhausted. The adrenaline rush, sleeping it off. My mother, you see, my mother was smarter. She saved her energy. She just stopped speaking. That was her whole approach. Not speaking. So when she was angry at me, I didn't know what I did because I did everything wrong. I was a miserable teenager, miserable, and I always kept everything detailed in my diary, which I didn't lock, and I left in the same place. I always left it. It was like a little game. You want to see what you're really living with, Mom? So she found out from the diary that I was having sex. She found out that I was stealing from department stores, Saks Fifth Avenue, Bergdorf Goodman, only the best. And she found out that I took a black guy to the Dalton senior prom. Now, this was the 50s. You did not do that then. In the 50s, we did not even have black and white cookies yet. Let me tell you something about comedy. We're up here. A lot of comics do a lot of different things, but my style of comedy, it's my life. You're hearing everything. It is true. It happened. You find a way. Otherwise, you're going to kill yourself. You find a way to make it funny. So I know what I'm talking about. So I do this joke on stage. A guy comes up to me afterwards. He says, "You know, you're wrong about that. You're wrong. They were not black and white. Excuse me. There were black and white cookies." Oh yes. Oh yes, there were Oreos. Oh yeah, look, mister, I am not talking about, I'm talking about the big, I have to explain to this fucking idiot. We are talking about the big cookie that has black icing on one side, and it's right next to white icing. Symbol of equality. I am not talking about an Oreo that's black on one side, white in the middle, black on the other, symbol of a threesome. A good threesome. Really. My favorite relative was my aunt. My aunt was, I was my mother's only sister because she was like, she always seemed happy, and she told Joe she committed suicide at 85, but you know, she kept it down too much. You should really let it out, you know, it's really a good thing. But she had a strength. She was once mugged in the village, and she wouldn't let go of the purse. So the guy is running down the street, he's got the purse, he's got my aunt who's still attached to her. I said, "Beth, why did you do that? You know, what could be so valuable in that purse that you risked your life?" Turned out her favorite tweezer was in there. real tragedy is I completely understand now that I thought she was crazy. But once my girlfriend, very close girlfriend, I said, I have a great idea. Let's, your mother, your aunt, you and me, let's all smoke pot together. Okay. You know, what's one day different from the next? Fine. So, my mother and aunt had never smoked before. So we go to my aunt's apartment because it was the only nice apartment. I figured if someone freaks out, at least the surroundings are not going to send them over. And when my mother lights up first, immediately starts choking to death, lights up a Marlboro to bring herself down, it's over. My aunt, though, really got into it. She got into it and she started talking and just having a wonderful time. And she was telling us, basically, not my girlfriend was already in a coma, but she was telling us about her sex life. And she had 3 husbands. Each one lasted about 6 months. So there was always men in her life, constantly men. So I figured she was really hot. And it turns out that she said, I don't like sex. I will, as a matter of fact, I wouldn't even sleep with a man unless he brings me money or a present. I am a 13-year-old girl, high as a kite, and I've just found out that my aunt is a prostitute. This is a very, very nice evening. And then she tells me, it's not just that. I have to be honest. There is one sex act that I really enjoy, and that's when a man goes down on me. Now, she didn't put it that way. She said, I enjoy cunnilingus, because they had a little taste in those days. Okay. I was fascinated. I really was. I thought maybe there's something to this. Men didn't like to do it, and they still, a pain in the ass. But all right, that's a whole other story. So I told my therapist du jour about this, and he, in all his wisdom, said, and I've been a therapist, gone to therapists, have respect for about, maybe 3 in the city, and probably 2 of them are here. And I said, I told him the whole story about my aunt. He said, well, I would say from what you're telling me, your aunt is probably a lesbian. Mm-hmm. Of course. I mean, why else would a woman enjoy oral sex? So, all right, Shecky was talking about aging and the horror. Let me, I'm older than Shecky, so I can say the horror. I mean, it's, first of all, one of the things that I would like about a relationship is I love sex. I do. I love it. It's good for you, it's fun, and it is a great way to get rid of stress. Of course, it's the relationship that's causing the stress. You learn to balance in life, or you don't survive. But the thing is, if you stay with someone your whole life, you get used to the changes in the body. He accepts you're decrepiting out and everything is on the floor, scoop it up and have some sex. And, with him, you accept that his testicles are basically dusting the furniture. Who cares? At least something is dusting the furniture. I don't do housework. Jesus Christ. But getting older, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's not inside. See, inside, that's the real kind of trick nature plays on you. I actually feel stronger, and you begin to appreciate life more, and you'll begin to really feel better about yourself. But on the outside, you're beginning to look like an old hag. I mean, that's what's happened. So, and I'm always shocked when people, don't understand that I'm not 21 anymore, because I feel the same as I always felt. I'm sitting on the subway. I'm coming back from my wretched job in the South Bronx. I probably look like I'm 150 years old. I'm sitting next to a very friendly Hispanic woman. The last thing, I'd rather have the mariachi players than this. Okay, so I've got her. And the giant clown, who very few of us remember. But she turns to me, she wants to talk. Okay, fine. And she says, you must really be enjoying your retirement. Do I look like I'm enjoying anything? I didn't say that. I didn't, because number one, she was friendly, and number two, she might have been packing. I don't know. So I said, no, I'm not retired. Oh, that's wonderful. Isn't that's just a mere, well, God bless you. I didn't invite or invent a cure for cancer. I just didn't find a rich husband. There is nothing to bless here. Absolutely. And I have friends who say, I'm happy I'm getting older. I don't know what's the matter with you, Jane. I think it's great because you get older, you get wiser. No, you don't. No, you don't. If you were stupid when you were young, you're going to be a moron when you're old, let me assure you. And you will not look as good, so people will have less patience with your stupidity. God almighty, I hate it. I hate the whole process of it. It's just so, it's just, I don't know, I mean, things, the hair, it's not that you lose hair, just something relocates. It's not where it should be. Where'd you go? Why are you all on my face? I mean, it's like, I had a friend who said to me, do you think we were outside with bright sunlight? She said, do you think that people can see the hair on my cheeks? Well, only if they're blind.